welcome to my home. I'm Rebecca. Thank you for joining me. Today I have quite a few bits of fat left from my ration, and I have a busy weekend ahead of me, a rather social weekend. So I'm going to take the opportunity while I have all of these rations to make a biscuit barrel. So I'm going to make 3 different types of biscuits, and that should see me through right into next week. So let's get started. We're going to begin with honey biscuits.
Cream 1 1/4 ounce of marg with 1 ounce of sugar.
Okay?
Now add a tablespoon of honey. And now work in 3 ounces of self-raising flour, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 level dessert spoon of dried egg, and a small pinch of salt, all first sieved together.
There'll be no egg going in because I don't have any dried egg. So, sieve all that together. Oh, do you know, you can so smell the honey. The dandelion honey is so coming through in this. But I don't know whether it's a bit too dry. Is it a bit crumbly to you? I don't know to add some milk. Shall I add some milk? You know what, I'm going to add some milk. I'm going to risk it. That worked. Bit of milk. Look, it's binding together now, making like a ball. I mean, chances are, when I roll this out, it's going to need a lot more flour. It seems to be just my way. So, you know, if you're a better cook than I am, it's not hard to be. Yeah, you might not have this problem. Oh, it's a bit sticky now. Oh dear. Oh dear Lord, what a mess. Right, okay. We're going to do the classic of keep going until the flour turns it into something that's workable. Oh dear, dear. Well, keep pressing. Go on, Rebecca. Keep going. Keep going. Carry on. Roll out to 1/4 inch thick, cut in rounds, and bake in a moderately hot oven for about 10 minutes. And there's our honey biscuits. That's the first batch done, so we will now put them in the oven and move on to vanilla biscuits. For these vanilla biscuits, we're going to rub 3 ounces of butter or marg into 4 ounces of flour. Okay, I've done that now until we've got breadcrumbs, looking rather lovely. So we're now going to add 3 ounces of castor sugar and mix to a firm dough with the egg yolk. I'm not using any egg yolk because I don't want to sacrifice my egg. A good dessert spoon of water. So we'll just slop a little bit in, there we go. And a few drops of vanilla. Oh, I do like a bit of vanilla. Oh yes. Roll out to 1/8 inch thick. Prick well and cut in rounds or fancy shapes. Haha. I've got some fancy shapes. Let's see if it works. I think this dough is looking a lot better. You've done really well with this dough, Rebecca. Well done. It looks like a dough. Fantastic. Right, now, I've got an elephant. Let's see if it works. Oh, it's not going to work. No. Back to the chicken. Come on, chicken. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, look at you. Aren't you gorgeous? Yes, you are. Oh, look at my little chicken. Would you like to see what's happened to the chickens from the last lot? They've not worked out too well. Okay, here we go. Take 2. But I'll tell you something. These are tasting, they're a disaster. But they're tasting rather nice. I can't help myself. I just can't. Sorry. Talking in your mouthful. Okay, so we're now moving on to our third biscuit. That is a plain biscuit. Now I've given you a couple of, dare we say, decadent for wartime rations. Yeah, possibly, especially if you're a single person allowance. But this one, all it takes is a little spot of flour, tiniest bit of marg, and a pinch of salt. So I don't know how it's going to end up. There's no sugar, there's no flavour, it's just marg and flour. So let's give it a go. We're going to sieve half a pound of plain flour with a good pinch of salt and rub in an ounce of marg. Mix to a dough with a little milk or milk and water. It's going to be interesting, this one, because I think this is definitely a ration buster sort of alternative for biscuits. So that's a little bit of milk gone in, but I can't really spare anymore, so we might have to put a bit of water in. We're now going to beat the dough with a rolling pin for 5 to 10 minutes. Blimey, they make you work for these biscuits, don't they? Right, okay. Just the beating is most important. Right, okay, let's try and perform a miracle. Just got to show you this dough, because I mean it's not like any texture that I've ever seen, let alone for a biscuit. I really don't know how these are going to work. I think this might be one of those wartime recipes that just, you think, what on earth were they doing? I'm assuming it's all to try and bring it all together. If nothing else, it's jolly good fun. Whack it, whack it, whack it, whack it. Best of birds. God, neighbours will be coming round in a minute going, Rebecca, is everything okay? But it's fine, I'm just baking. Right, well, I think I can see how the texture has slightly changed. So I don't whack it anymore for fear of fresh cracks in my house. So we'll move on to the next step, which is to break the dough into small pieces and roll them as thin as possible. I'm pretty good at rolling biscuits thin. So, yes, here we go. I don't even really know how to describe the texture. It's almost like leather in a way. But, see what I mean by it really feels leathery. Prick them all over with a fork and bake in a quick oven for about 5 minutes. See that they don't get brown. Okay, prick, prick, prick. So I'll just make a small amount of these and then I'll be back. So, here we are. I'm rather chuffed. Look at that whole barrel of biscuits. It's fantastic. There's plenty more actually. There's still some more in the oven, so yeah. Yeah, the honey ones, they became a bit of a disaster, so I'm just going to smash them up and call them brittles. And the butter ones, absolutely fabulous. But it's these ones that I want to give a try because I'm not convinced. Flour, the tiniest bit of marg, a bit of milk and water, a little bit of salt. They're not terrible, but they're not biscuits. But they remind me of cream crackers. You know those those water biscuits you can get. But you know what? Carolyn says that they have very sugary tea back in the day. Because there's no sugar in this, I think sipped with really sweet tea, this would be perfect as a nice nibble. And when you consider all it's cost you off your ration is a tiny bit of milk, like a splash of milk, and 1 ounce of marg, and I'm going to get a lot of biscuits out of this, or crackers as I want to call them. So I'd say this is a success if you've got absolutely almost no ration left and you just fancy a nibble. You fancy something to go with your tea. If you take sugar in your tea, these are going to be great. If you don't, then I reckon you could treat them as cream crackers. Maybe have a bit of chutney. If you've got a bit of cheese, you could have a bit of that with them. Or however you choose to have them. But, yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Enjoy baking. And I'll see you again next time. Bye! Try this. I've already had that. That's what the butcher's like. Oh my god, that's nice. Over the butter. Talking with your mouth full again, Rebecca.